G'day guys, welcome back to Tradio Podcast, proudly powered by TradeTools. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Brad. I myself am a tradie, but I've recently hung up the tool belt to bring you guys podcasts and videos courtesy of TradeTools. So in this podcast, I interview tradies and people at different stages in their careers and from all walks of life. So whatever you're doing today, whether you're flat out or just kicking back, we'd like to say thanks for listening to Tradio and enjoy. All right, let's do it. So we've got Simon here from BT Engineering. G'day, mate.
G'day, Brad. How you going?
Yeah, good, mate. Good.
That's good.
I suppose we'll start off with give us a quick backstory of what BT Engineering actually is.
Yeah, sure, no problem. So BT Engineering is probably one of, if not the world's original bricklaying toolmaker. So
right.
We manufacture everything that a bricklayer needs, not including trowels. So brick saws, paver saws, block saws, all the clamps, rakers, joiners, everything that a bricklayer needs.
Yeah.
And we've been doing it for decades and decades. So long before really anyone else is doing it.
Yep.
And, since about 1957, I think. So
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So you'll have to excuse me too a little. When it comes to bricklaying, I know squat.
That's right.
I really don't know much, which could be better because I guess the majority of the listeners aren't bricklayers as well. So coming from a perspective that is a little unaware, it might help.
Yeah, absolutely.
1957, that's, a long time ago, and everything's handmade.
Yeah, that's right. So it started with a guy called Bruce Thomas, so BT.
Right. Yeah,
he had a couple of bricky mates.
Yeah.
And they just asked him to manufacture a couple of tools. So Bruce was just a quintessential engineering tinkerer.
Right.
Just loves sitting all day on a lathe, just making stuff from scratch.
Okay.
So he invented a thing called a raker. So it's basically a little tool that has a concrete nail in it and it rakes out the mortar joint in between bricks. And that was probably the first ever tool they ever made. And it just sort of escalated from there. So bricklayers all day, every day coming into the factory saying, we wish we could do this better. We wish we could do this faster. Yeah. And he just kept inventing tool after tool after tool after tool. And fast forward about 50, 60 years. Yeah. And BT now manufactures and sells around the world the majority of tools used by bricklayers.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really cool.
How many different tools and stuff do you guys manufacture?
Yeah, so most people, if you ask them on the street, and probably yourself, they'll say the same thing. A bricklayer uses a trowel and string line.
Yeah, well, I didn't realise how many crafty little things there were to help out. And obviously, you got to keep making new stuff to make the job easier.
Yeah, that's right. So we're up to about 35 tools.
Yeah, right.
Some of them are pretty similar, maybe a different size. Maybe they're used for half brick instead of a full brick, But there's about 35 different tools and all manufactured in scratch in Australia.
Yep.
So Aussie steel, Aussie labour, nothing comes in from overseas.
Wow.
We do it all ourselves.
Hand turned on lathes and everything.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So our water button, for instance, has about 12 little brass widgets in it. And every little brass widget, some of them are only sort of 20 mil long. Yeah. All made on the lathe from scratch with a length of brass.
Yeah, cool. So where's head office for you?
So Sydney, we're down in the Shire in Kirrawee.
Yeah, righto.
Have been in the same factory since the very beginning.
Yep.
1957.
Wow.
I suppose we're a bit of a local institution amongst the bricklayers in Sydney and on the Shire. And over the last couple of decades, we've sort of spread our wings across Australia. And bricklayers in every nook and cranny of Australia now are using us. So.
Wow. So how did you come to be where you are now?
So I had a background in construction most of my professional life. My wife got basically a dream job up in Sydney, so we moved up to Sydney. Yeah. Was looking for a business to buy, basically. Something in my wheelhouse, something construction related, came across BT, started ringing up bricklayers saying, have you heard of BT? And they said, have you heard of BT?
Yeah, right.
What a dumb question. Of course we've heard of BT. Yep. They make amazing tools, high quality, things that last. Some of the bricklayers I spoke to when I was doing my research were saying they still have the same brick saw they bought in the 80s and 90s,
Yeah, so brick saws, you guys make a range of brick saws, which we stock. We do have the BT brick saws. Do they come in different sizes and all different? I don't know much about it. I should. I sell tools, but
so most bricklayers in Australia, well, almost every bricklayer in Australia will have a brick saw.
Yep.
That's just for everything every day. You can just cut thousands and thousands of bricks on these things.
For sure.
Cutting miters, 45s, the lot. They come in petrol and electric. Then you can go a little bit bigger and get a paver saw that can cut a 600 mil by 600 mil paver.
Okay, right. Yeah.
They go even bigger to a block saw, cut concrete blocks. You know?
Okay, right.
These are the big beasts that will get craned onto an apartment building for 3-6 months at a time.
Yeah, okay, right. You build all them as well.
Hand built, you know.
It's amazing.
It really is amazing. It's a story that, and it's a business that every Aussie tradesman should be proud of. Whether or not you're a bricklayer or not doesn't matter.
Yeah, for sure.
It's an amazing story.
Absolutely. So Brickies sort of help you guys evolve BT as a business. How do they do that essentially?
Yeah, so bricklayers are basically, almost entirely responsible for the development of BT over the last couple of decades. So over the years, Bruce, and then through his son and daughter, Jeff and Vicky, who's helped run the business later on, they just had brickies in the factory every second day, every third day. They'd sit around and talk about what's happening on site. You know, how can we lay bricks faster? How can we do it more accurately? How can we stop picking up our level?
Yeah, right.
And they just started tinkering together and came up with all this stuff. So one perfect example is what we call a dory block.
Yeah, okay.
It's used all over on sites around the world now, and it's named after a bricklayer called Dorian.
All right.
He just came in one day and said, this is what we need. We need something to sit on the profile, run our string line off. It'd be great if the string line can run both ways instead of just one. Yeah. And so they came up with it. It's really simple.
So that essentially stops the need to level each brick.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So in the past, and still in England and the US and other places, bricklayers are laying a brick, grabbing their level, checking if it's level, tap, 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 put the level back down, lay another brick. And so you can imagine every time you're picking up your level, that's 10, 15, 20 seconds.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
These guys are laying 500 plus bricks a day. That adds up big time. And, you know, the natural pressures of the market, you know, developers and builders are pushing down on brickies to be cheaper and cheaper. You got to get faster and faster and smarter and smarter.
Absolutely.
So all these tools are what help set up a bricklayer at the start of the job. It takes 5 or 10 minutes, and then you can just start running bricks in.
Yeah, cool. What sort of construction were you in?
So I mainly did insurance building and commercial building. I was at a sort of, they're a big size company now, publicly listed construction company now. Yep. And that was down in Melbourne.
Off the tools, mate, and now running the show. How cool.
That's right. Yeah, it was a good change of pace. I wasn't exactly on the tools in the last job either. I was still sort of in like a general manager office-based role, sort of managing subbies all over the shop.
How many people are in the main factory down in Sydney?
So we got 10 people.
Yep.
We probably put out 2,000 or 3,000 different tools a month.
Yeah, right.
Which is impressive.
And you are, at the moment, you're sending to UK?
Yep.
You've got like outlets there, is that right? Or
yeah, that's right. Yeah. So funnily enough, you know, a lot of UK and Irish brickies come to work in Australia, return home talking about BT.
Okay,
so
right.
So really lucky we kind of got a head start with a lot of the brickies over there.
Okay, right. Obviously it'll be like a splash effect over there, I guess. It'll word of mouth will get around and
yeah, that's right. Our tools have this distinctive gold shimmer, it's this zinc plating on it. So you can it's really distinctive on site.
Okay, right.
It's probably our best sales method, which is just word of mouth, people seeing these weird things on site. So we've got 2 customers, one in England and one in Ireland.
Right.
Trying to nail one in Scotland at the moment.
Yep.
And also trying to set up Amazon. You know, a lot of brickies buy tools on Amazon in the UK. So yeah, the start of this year, I flew over to London. I basically took a suitcase full of tools. And just started cold calling people and knocking on doors and seeing who'd take a meeting with me. The end result was overwhelming. It was amazing. It was amazing just to be so proud of Australian bricklayers and the way they do things and to see how they do it over there and that they more or less haven't heard of these tools before. And also
how exciting would that be? Going over and seeing, as you see it, they're laying in the old school way. And you think, here we go.
Yeah.
Check this out.
Just 2 totally different styles. You know, a UK brickie will put up beautiful ornate churches.
Yeah.
But an Aussie brickie, he can just run in a house so quick and fast and accurate, it's not funny. And that's because we've been using these tools for decades and they just haven't really heard of them.
Yeah, the world is your oyster, mate.
That's right.
So what plans for the future? Are you looking to diversify the countries you're sending to?
Yeah, basically. I just want to make the business a proud Aussie export story.
For sure.
You know, I just want brickies and tradies in Australia just to sort of look at BT and go, how good's that? You know, like they innovate themselves, they come up with the tools themselves, they make it here in Australia, they use quality tradesmen here, and it works, you know? The rest of the world wants it.
Yeah. So the all the tools you have, I know we stock a few. How many do we actually stock?
So basically everything that a Queensland brickie will need. So we've got all the essentials, things like dory blocks and jointers and line blocks and those sorts of everyday sort of essentials that you need.
Yeah.
And then some Queensland specific stuff. So as everyone knows, most houses up in Queensland are timber veneer. So the top clamps that we send up here are all the timber veneer clamps. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, even state to state, brickies sort of differ a fair bit.
Yeah, absolutely. In New South Wales and Victoria and Perth, most homes are double brick. Yep. So they get the double brick top clamps.
Yeah, right.
But up here, it's all timber veneer. So that being said, you can always order stuff in. We're only an overnight truck away from getting tools up to Brickies in Queensland.
True. Yeah, TradeTools can, if there's tools of yours that we don't stock, we can just, order them straight in as well.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Next year, I heard a little birdie told me next year you're looking to move towards the US.
Yeah.
How are you sort of heading towards that?
Pretty nervously. It's a massive market, obviously.
Yeah.
Pretty competitive and hardcore. Yeah, the good thing about the UK is that English brickies and Australian brickies, and even the way we work, it's all more or less the same. Your meetings start off with a bit of niggle about the last footy score or the cricket score or whatever the case may be. But the US is just a different kettle of fish.
Completely different, yeah. Has anyone ever tried to knock off your tools?
Yeah. So there's one company in Australia. I won't mention their name, but basically their company started because they knocked off all BT tools, took it to China, had a crack at doing them all themselves.
Right.
But Aussie brickies can see past that and, they might give it a go once and realise that it just doesn't last. Welds aren't clean. They just break, Sometimes a steel, it's unbelievable. Steel can be almost gluey because they've just sort of recycled so much stuff in it when they're making it. There's a couple of knockoff brick saws out there as well. It's flattering, but it is frustrating, especially because I know the brickie's just going to come back and it's going to, it's not going to work for him on site one day and he's going to lose half a day, a full day until he can get another brick saw or another tool.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just lost money.
I'm trying to work out the right questions to ask because I like asking people about on-site horror stories, like the worst job site stuff-ups and everything. Have you got any particularly strange?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty common in bricklaying in Australia, especially over the last 5 years. We've had a massive housing boom. Yep. And if you head out to some of the developments out in the western suburbs of Sydney, for instance, they just couldn't get bricklayers fast enough.
Yeah.
And combine that with, some of the older statesmen of the trade, more craftsmen, they did apprenticeships that lasted years and years and years. Some of these guys are basically getting a quick rundown training session and on the trowel.
Yeah, for
sure. So there's some pretty horrific photos that get chucked up all the Facebook pages all over the place.
Yeah, that'd be good to see, actually. Send us your worst bricklaying photos, guys. I'd love to see them. Yeah, I feel like I'm a little unarmed in this conversation because I'm so virgin to bricklaying, yeah. So tell us a little bit more about your personal life, mate, like running the business, being the big dog essentially. How does that work out for you?
I mean, it's fantastic. I wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, there's definitely pros and cons though. Yeah. Probably what I get out of it most is that you have a real chance to make a really big impact in people's lives every day. People are at work 8, 9, 10 plus hours a day.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's up to you about whether that's a good environment or a shitty environment.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, it's cool.
This old boss used to say to me that don't ever forget that you'll be the topic of dinner time conversations. Yeah. And it's up to you whether that's going to be a pleasant or a stressful conversation.
Yeah, right.
Whoever's better half or their kids.
Yep.
And so I always keep that in mind. It's always stuck with me. I really, we're there to work hard and be proud of our tools and everything that we make, but we also need to be able to go home with our head held high.
Yeah, absolutely.
And be happy with what we're doing and be happy with where our life's going. And I'm pretty happy and pretty confident that we have that environment at BT, But the flip side is that, as my wife will tell you, we might be sitting at a cafe on Saturday morning and she's talking to me and all I can think about is, I didn't pay that bill yesterday.
Yeah,
I didn't tell the boys to pack that order that I promised the customer. I'm going to have to scramble for that on Monday. I'm writing mental notes in my head all the time. So, it's a 24-hour a day job, whether that's physically or mentally. You might wake up at 2 a.m. with everything that you missed that day.
Yes.
And that takes it out of it, but that's just the trade-off. There are days when I might sneak off and hit some balls at the driving range, but it's offset by those Saturday mornings at the cafe.
Yeah, I feel you. I'll get like an idea for a video. I know we're worlds apart, but I'll have an idea start running through my head while I'm laying there going to sleep, and then all of a sudden I can't sleep, so I have to physically write it down and get it out of my head before I can relax. Otherwise you're scared that I'm going to forget that. Or
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's crazy. So how long have you actually, how long have you been with BT? Like how long have you had it?
So I purchased a business just over 12 months ago.
Yep.
So first couple of months we spent sort of just making sure the wheels kept turning.
Of course, yep.
Then my eyes sort of started looking to how we can grow across Australia. And then the last 6 months we've been focused on the UK and now I'm sort of heading towards the US.
Yeah.
And what's next.
So the US market, I wonder, like, that'd be a huge one to get into.
Huge, yeah.
Massive.
We are currently trying to get our ducks in the row. So we're looking at trying to buy another robot welder. So it's a really cool piece of machinery we have.
Robot welder. All right. Tell me about that.
It's really cool to see, actually. It's basically our tools go into jigs and then you lock the jig down so the tool can't move. Yeah. And there's a robot.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a name.
Yeah. But, you should definitely name it.
Yeah, there's a robot that's got a program in it. It comes down and just zaps the tool exactly where you need it. It's a bit sort of Elon Musky, Tesla-y, you know.
Yeah, or Skynet.
Or Skynet, that's right. Yeah. So we need another one of those, but they're pretty complicated things to get and set up.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Space. Yeah.
So is that like a CNC machinist? Same sort of thing? You program it in and off it goes?
Yeah, more or less. So we've got a machinist, a guy called Adam. He's been with BT for about 20 years.
Yeah.
He's an absolute rock star, makes everything from scratch. Similar sort of job. Adam can run the robot. We've got another guy on the robot. He just knows the software inside and out.
Yep.
He can program new tools, do whatever needs to be done.
Yeah, might have to name the robot after Adam then.
Yeah, but it's, I mean, you know, you can have all the fancy tools in the world and the robots and all that sort of stuff, but it starts with quality tradesmen.
Absolutely, yeah, so for sure.
Adam is the machinist. Paul, we've got down the other, and he puts all the saws together, has done for 20 years. And the rest of the team, you know, it starts with them.
Yeah,
it starts with rock stars running the machines, not the machines running rock stars.
No, that's right. Well, you can put a great tool in anyone's hands. If they don't know how to use it, then it's useless.
That's right. Yeah, exactly right.
You do name, you got a couple of tools that are named after specific people?
Yeah.
So which ones are they? The Dory?
And the Dino 5.
Oh, the Dino 5,
That's it. Yeah, it's pretty easy way to, it's pretty simple naming convention. Yeah. So Dory is after Dorian, a bricklayer in Sydney, and Dino 5 was after a bricklayer called Dean in 2005.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So you're going to keep that running as you develop?
Yeah.
Everyone should do that, I think. But most companies don't have such a proud sort of home story,
That's right, yeah. I really want BT to not be just another tool maker.
For sure.
You know, I trawl socials of all these other tool makers and they're so slick and professional and they have stock models holding this drill up against a wall and I think it doesn't resonate. Yeah. You know, it especially won't resonate to an Aussie brickie.
That's right. Yeah, you can't beat genuine.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and authentic. Yep. You know, we're no frills, no fuss tool maker. Every day the boys finished covered head to toe in black soot and grime.
For sure.
You know, picking up tons and tons of steel every day, turning it into things from scratch. It's hard work and it's not pretty. And we don't want to pretend it is, you know?
Yeah, that's right. But the result is amazing. And hopefully, I really hope the dive into the American market goes off like a fish in a milkshake, mate. Yeah.
We'll see how we go.
Is there anything else you'd like to discuss, mate, about BT?
Yeah, it's just, you know, it's, I suppose, a bit of a chance to say big thanks to all the loyal Aussie brickies out there, you know? Yeah. Tradesmen across Australia are just inundated with options.
Yeah.
You know, tools that come from a lot of tools out of China, a lot of tools from overseas. And, you know, for decades, they've just stuck with BT because it's tools that work for them. They last, they're quality, they're reasonably priced. And they've stuck with BT. And it's a massive effort in a market that's just busy.
For sure.
And we definitely appreciate it. It keeps 10 people at a factory in Australia super busy day in, day out.
What do you reckon, mate? We'll wrap her up. That's a cool story. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
A proud story.
A proud story. That's exactly right. You know, a proud story built here in Australia, staying in Australia, always will be Australian.
Yeah, never going to change.
Never going to change.
Always
don't
Aussie
fix
strong.
it that's not broke.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yeah, righto, Simon. Well, it was awesome having you in, mate. And yeah, congratulations on moving to the UK and hopefully into the American market.
Thanks, mate.
And have the Aussies take the world by storm in the bricklaying world.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Excellent. Cheers, mate.
Brad.
Thanks. Well, there we have it. Another episode wrapped up, guys. I'd love to hear your feedback, and you can email me at tradio@tradetools.com or message at TradeTools social pages with any topics you'd like to hear about. And of course, be sure to hit the subscribe button to keep up to date. Until the next episode, see ya!